Hi guys, hope you all are doing great. I'm CA Manisha Vyas and this is CA Disha Veera. So in this video we are going to be talking about financial service and capital market as an optional subject. This video is a part of our ongoing series called Get Your Optional Subject Right. For this video, we have Harsh Nahar. He is a chartered accountant and he has done his articleship in KPMG in assurance department. So hi Harsh, hope you're doing
Hi
great.
Manisha, hi Manisha, hi Disha. Hope you are doing good.
Harsh, moving to our first question, why did you choose this subject? What do you think are the pros and cons of selecting this subject?
Yeah. So why I selected this subject was when I had started my articleship at KPMG. On the first day of our articleship, we were told that you have to compulsory register for CA final. Otherwise, they don't register us for articleship. So during the first day of my articleship, I was going on to the site of ICI.org. I filled up the form and they were asking me to select a particular elective subject. So in audit, I was under the financial services sector. So I was of the opinion that this is the paper that I should go for, financial services and capital markets. So that is the reason I selected that particular paper at that point of time. After doing research, I selected each and every paper first to review. So like GFRS was out of question because I thought there would be nothing new that I would be able to learn because it's the more or less replica of paper number one, financial reporting. Risk management, I'm not good with statistics, I would say, and maths. So that is the reason that paper was out of question. Then international tax, again, one of my seniors told that you're not into international tax and you haven't done anything during articleship which is related to international tax. So that's why international tax was also left out. Then there was economic law and financial services. So by the end of like articleship, like during the last year of my articleship, I was pretty much convinced that I had interest in stock markets and studying the entire financial markets. So that is the reason I gave a shot to this financial services and capital markets. And talking about the pros and cons, I would first talk about the pros. First one, it's a theory subject. So 80% of the paper would be theory and 20% of the paper would be practical. So if you are able to find that exact case study or exact provisions in your book and you can directly, replicate in your answer paper, then there is nobody who will stop you from giving marks. So basically you will commit a lot less errors as compared to a subject which is practical. Practical is obviously scoring if you have done each and every, step right. But in theory, you get that little bit of cushioning that you can, use your own brain and sometimes answer theory based question. 1 mark also if it is given, if it is completely wrong, then also like examiner would give you 1 mark or 1.5 mark or half mark. So you can take it as a pro. Second is the practical insight that you get regarding the subject, how the stock markets work, private equity works, investment banking works. You will get the practical insights. Also for this particular subject, I would say you can do the self study. If you are well versed with the stock markets and you have little bit of knowledge about mutual funds, then you can definitely give this subject a self study, and maybe you can save a little bit of classes time and you can devote it to other subjects, I would say. And the fourth pro would be a little bit, I would say, controversial, but considering many less people take FSCP as an elective subject, in each attempt, we know ICI wants to give at least couple of papers which are into the difficult category. And usually those papers are papers whom many students take those papers because then only ICI would get that advantage, of setting a difficult paper and, scaring students. But considering FSCP is hardly taken by any student, they usually don't set tough papers for FSCP. Till now, I think only one attempt has been there. Like it was the first or second attempt of a new syllabus where the papers were difficult. And these are the pros. And the cons would be it's a lengthy subject as compared to other subjects, compared to RM and maybe international taxation. It is a lengthy subject, and there are lots and lots of regulations that you would have to study because we'll discuss the subject, but there are lots of regulations that you would have to remember. And the con is that you won't be able to find friends which are taking your same subject as the elective, and you would be able to get limited guidance. Even on YouTube there are not many papers available. Many teachers do not give weightage to this particular subject, so this is a con. Also ICR does not give proper time to this particular subject. Like during my July 21 attempt, we did not had suggested answers for November 20 and Jan 21. So there were no suggested answers available for FSCP
Oh,
subject, and they
okay.
have released this now when the December attempt is going to come. So now they have released all three attempts answer sheets together, suggested answers basically.
Okay, that's something I didn't know.
Yeah.
Also, to all those, I think, Harsh, the fact that you've taken, I think, all those who do not find any friend, please put out your doubts in the chat box. We'll have Harsh get in touch with you. We'll be most more than welcome to solve your doubts or queries. Also, just a background that even I had taken FSCM, like when I had to register myself as an article. But then I shifted on to risk management for the parent cons that you mentioned. But to all their own, so of course we have both pros and cons here. That was very useful, Harsh. So our next question is for all those students who are not aware of what FSCM contains. Can you give a glimpse of what the subject covers?
Yeah, sure. So our FSCP has two modules. The module number 1 consists of 17 chapters and module number 2 consists of regulations. So under regulations, we have 5 chapters and merely 90% of that is theory and 10% of it is practical. So 5 regulations. First of all, we have issue of capital and disclosure requirements, which is the biggest regulation, I would say. Almost 40% of module 2 is covered by this single chapter. And then we have listing obligations and disclosure requirements. It is the same which we study in audit and law in our CA final. So it consists of 25% of our weightage. Then we have insider trading regulations, which is approximately 10% of the total weightage. Then we have buyback, which is again important chapter because from that 10% of practical, which I told, which they ask in examination, is from this chapter majorly, that is buyback. And the last chapter we have in regulations is mutual fund regulations, which is again 10% weightage. So this covers our module 2, and module 1 consists of basically 17 chapters, and it is 80% again theory and 20% practical. So we have 15 chapters which are theory. You can just give it a read and you will be able to understand. Nothing complex, I would say, as such. It consists of stock market, money market, and mutual funds, investment banking, private equity. Basically, they have tried to cover each and every aspect of our financial ecosystem in a gist. So they have not gone into very deep, I would say. They have touched up the basic concepts and they have touched the important concepts as well, but they haven't gone into the depth. So they have tried to cover the entire syllabus in the gist format, and they have tried to cover the regulations in a lot more detail, I would say, which are specific to India. And the two chapters which I told you are practical would be leasing and factoring. So these two are practical chapters that we have. And the entire syllabus, if we talk in number of pages, would approximately range 600 pages, where 400 pages approximately are the regulations that we have. And the remaining 200 pages are those 17 chapters which are discussed. And in exam, majorly out of 5 case studies that we have to attempt 4. So out of 5 case studies, 3 case studies would be from module number 1, which is the 17 chapters that we have, and 2 case studies would be from the regulations part, I would say.
Okay, oh, that's great. That's a great analysis. Moving on to our next question. So, given that the portion is so extensive, what ideally should be a preparation strategy? What kind of books should we refer? Should we stick to the module? Are there any case study books that we should refer or not?
First of all, I would suggest you that you just go through the module once. If you are able to understand what is written, then you need not take classes, I would say. So if you just go through the module once, if you are able to understand it, then you can totally skip classes and do it by self-study. But if you're not able to understand the concept, or if you're not able to understand the regulations, I would say, then you can go for classes. So I had personally not taken classes. I had done this subject self-study. So my preparation strategy was that I have to devote maximum time to the other remaining 7 subjects and comparatively lesser time to this single subject, because I knew that I had read about this subject and I had gone through each and every chapter during my articleship just to get whether I have to take this elective or not. So I had gone through module 1 before my preparation stage, so I had fair bit of idea regarding module 1. So what I did was I kept 3 days for module 1, that is the first reading for 3 days, and it is easily manageable because chapters you can see 17 chapters, but the chapters range from 10 pages only. So 170, 200 pages are there. You can easily complete it within 3 days. And for module 2, I had kept 7 to 8 days because majorly there are regulations. You don't have to remember the regulations, but you have to, understand the concept and logic behind those regulations. So maximum of your time would go into, doing the regulations and understanding the concept. And when I was doing the first reading within those 10 days, I used to prepare the index sheet as well, which I guess every student who has taken a particular elective prepares that, which is like a mapping with the modules. So if a particular word comes into where from the module it has been taken, you prepare that mapping sheet. So I had prepared this mapping sheet as per modules itself. And talking about reference material, so I did not refer any other material apart from ICS study material. So I did ICS study material. I did all the mock tests from May 18, that is the time when the new syllabus was announced. I had done all the past examination question papers except for ones which were not released. I had consulted a couple of my friends, who were senior and who had taken this subject, that please prepare kind of a suggested answer or let me know the approach for this particular question. So I had done that. And I had done the case study digest, which was issued by ICI for, each and every elective. And apart from that, I had done the case study digest mapping also and the case study mapping also. So what I used to do for each and every case study that we have, whether it be in MTPs or question papers or in a case study digest, I used to prepare a crux that these are the concepts that are covered in the case study. So if in the examination any of those concepts are discussed in that particular case study, I used to directly refer to the case study that IC has provided in the question paper or in the case study digest, and just go through it, that is it the exact same replica of the case studies, and which definitely helped me in July 21 exams.
Okay.
So Harsh, you did mention about index sheet. I just want to ask whether you prepared your own index sheet, or like would you recommend people take the index sheet which is already prepared instead of preparing their own index sheet?
I had prepared my own index sheet, but I had referred some professors' index sheet and my friends' index sheet who had cleared the examinations. But I would recommend, each and everyone should have their own specific index sheet so that they get comfortable with it during the examinations. So definitely, I would share, my index sheet. You can check it in the description. But I would suggest you can use it just for reference, and you can prepare your own index sheet. That would be much more beneficial and useful during examinations, I feel.
Right, right. That makes sense. And the next question is, how much time did you allot for FSCM? And how many readings or revisions did you have for the subject?
So as I said, the first reading I did was for 10 days. And when I started with the revisions, the first revision, what I used to do, I used to, record revisionary audio. So in my own voice, I used to say each and every chapter, main concept I used to say. And similarly for the regulations, I had done that. Whichever regulation I felt had a lot of limits and had complexities, I used to record that particular chapter's audio. And for revisions, though, by doing this, I had compiled the entire FSCP syllabus in 4 to 5 hours. So I had done 3 to 4 times revision of the subject, because I had to, listen to the audio just for like 5 to 6 hours in a day, and I would be able to revise the entire subject. So this is the strategy that I had used for revisions, because it is pure theory. Like I said, 80% is theory. So reading it again and again is like a lot more cumbersome, and we have audit and law as well, which are theory. So for this, I use this revisionary audios where I just used to record my own voice, and just used to listen it multiple times for revising. Because anyway, it's a elective and you have open books, so there is no need to memorize each and everything.
Correct.
That is one good way, I think, to revise the subject by audio notes. Yes. And how did you like exactly approach the paper, and what materials did you carry with you? Reference materials or ICI modules? Like what did you carry with yourself to the exam, and how did you approach the paper?
So the approach was like, I have to stick to ICI study material, and all the material that has ICI provided, mock test papers and past examination questions and case study digest. So I did not refer any professor's material. I had just referred ICI material which was provided to us. And talking about which all things I took in the examination hall, so I took both the modules, and I took all the mock test papers, case study digest, my own notes which I had prepared. I had taken that, and that's it, I guess. All the material which was issued by ICI for FSCP syllabus, I had taken that only, I would say.
So you didn't like go for any other reference material, just the
No, no,
material.
no.
Okay.
Just the ICI study material only.
Okay. And do you think like people who take FSCM have an edge when applying for jobs? Do they get like a different kind of roles? Will they be preferred for a different kind of role?
I don't think so. We get any edge because in the CV, even if you mention it, nobody looks at it. All they want to know is in which attempt they clear, how many attempts they took, and if they got any rank. So these are the three basic things, and as well as the articleship experience from where they have done the articleship. So nobody pays attention to other achievements, or even if you write in your CV that you have taken this subject, which I think is not of use, I would say, because it's not a very big thing that you have taken this subject and you need to mention it on your CV. So I did not do that. But once you get the initial shortlisting, let's say in a bank or maybe an investment banking or in a mutual fund, and during the interview, if you tell the interviewer that you have taken this subject and you have read these regulations and you have gone through these regulations, then I think it's an added advantage, provided you are able to answer those questions which the interviewer would now throw at you, like you have studied these regulations, so tell me what would you do in such circumstances. So there is definitely an edge, but that edge is not into initial screening. But once you get into the interview rounds and there is this interview which is going on, and if you say it, then only it would be useful during that point of time, provided you are into that industry which it has relevance. For companies which are looking for finance role or accounting role, there it is of no use, I would say.
Okay.
Correct. So I think, Harsh, that was brilliant. We're so glad to have you on our platform, and the interview was really good. All the students who really wish to select FSCM would have a much better idea now. We would have similar videos for other subjects too. So in case you want to view them, please subscribe to our channel and also pull on your notification. And see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harsh.
Thank you. And I would like to mention that Disha and Manisha, you guys are doing a wonderful job, because many students are actually confused as to which elective to select. So you guys are doing an amazing job.
Thanks a lot. That means a lot.
Thank you.